Okay, so this is what I want to print on my console. Right now, if I run this, it prints perfectly. So hello Shivu, I am 34 years old. And now if I change this to, let's say, Raj, okay, and if I run this and make this 2024, okay, and if I try to run this, you can see it still gives me hello Shibu, I am 34 years old. Okay, the reason is you are not using the variables. Okay, so you have declared a variables, but you are not using it over here. Okay, so that's why it is always giving you the same result. Okay, so now we will see 4 different ways in which you can use this. Okay, or basically you can format your string. Okay, so let me show you. So first two methods I've already shown you. So the first two methods are very simple. So let's say I want to put name over here. So I will first remove this, put double quotes. Okay, now, whether to use double quotes or whether to use single quotes depends on what is the outer quote. Okay, so if here you are using double quotes, so here also you will use double quotes. Okay, so if here you are using single quotes, then here also you will use single quotes. Okay, so once you have this, then you can do 2 plus symbols. Okay, so this 2 plus symbols is for concatenation, and then the variable that you want to join. Okay, so now you can see what exactly I'm trying to do. So look at this plus. So this plus is actually concatenation between this string and this string. Okay, so now this entire thing becomes one string after the plus. Okay, after that, then the second plus, what it does is it adds this with this. Okay, so that is how it's happening. Okay, so now we have added the name part. So similarly, we have to add the age part. So I will remove that, add 2 quotes, add 2 plus, and then age. Okay, so now let us try to run it and see whether it works. It shouldn't work. Let me show you why. Okay, so you can see I'm getting a type error. Okay, so why I'm getting a type error? Because the plus sign can only concatenate string. This is what the error is giving. Okay, so let us check whether is there any integer or float that I'm trying to concatenate. Okay, so let's take a look at this plus sign. So on the left it is string, on the right it is name, and name is what? String. So that means I can concatenate. Okay, let us come over here. Let's take the example of this one. So this plus, so this is a string, whereas age is a integer, right? So that's why this error is coming. So you cannot use plus, that is concatenation, when you are trying to add a string and a integer. Okay, so for this you have to use typecasting. Okay, so typecasting we have already seen in the last session, that we have 4 functions like int, float, string, and bool. Okay, so these are the 4 functions that are there to convert any data type to any data type. Okay, so now it depends on what you want to do, right? For example, you have integer. Okay, so age is integer and you want to convert it into a float, so you will run float of age. When you do float of age, then that age, that is integer, will convert into float. Okay, I will be using the string function. Okay, because this is integer right now and the concatenation can only happen with string, right? So I will use str of age, and let me just remove all these functions. And if I run it, you can see I'm getting the result. So now if I change it, change the variables, it should also update the string. Okay, so till here we have seen in the last. Okay, in fact we have seen one more method of writing the same thing. So let me show you the second method. So the second method is without using the concatenation. Okay, so second method is without using the plus sign. Okay, so let me show you. So I will write hello, and then instead of concatenation, I will be using comma. Okay, so comma name. Okay, simply I'm using commas. Okay, so basically the comma will also do the same thing. It will join the text together, but with spaces. Okay, so it will not join it directly, so it will add a space before joining. That's why if you see here, when I gave hello, I gave a space. Okay, but here I did not give a space. Okay, that is because the concatenation doesn't add space. Okay, so that's why I have to give space, but in case of comma it adds a space, right? So that's why I have not given any space. Let us run this. You can see I'm getting my the result, right? So now let me just add a space over here also. And okay, so this is what my result is. Okay, so now you can see sometimes when you use this method, it doesn't look proper, because it is it will add a space mandatory, right? So sometimes we don't need the space. Okay, so when that is so see, like in this case you can see this space was actually not required, right? So but still it will add the space, we cannot do anything, right? So that is where this method fails. Okay, so if there is such kind of a scenario where we don't want the space, so then we cannot do anything, we have to go to other methods. Okay, so either you can use this method or the other two methods that I'm going to show. Okay, now one advantage here was, can you see the age? I have not converted age into string here. That is very important. So the best part of this method is you don't have to convert anything to string. Any data type you can directly print using this command. Okay, so that is the best part. But here you cannot do that, because here you have to concatenate, and concatenate only works with strings. Okay, so this is the two methods. Now the new method that I'm going to show you, let's look at that. Okay, everybody will like this method easier. Okay, so this will be much easier. So let's say, okay, so let's run this. Okay, so I've run this, I'm getting the result perfectly, but I'm not using any variables, right? So let me show you how this method works. Okay, so this method works with the help of formatted string. Okay, so for this to happen, you have to first go to the first quotation mark in the print command. Okay, and before that you have to put f. Okay, so before the first quotation mark, you have to put F. Okay. And now what you can do is, now a magical thing happens. Now you can replace any variables directly. Okay. So you don't have to worry about codes. You don't have to worry about converting it. Nothing you have to worry. You just find out the places where you want to replace and put curly braces and replace it with the variables that you want to put in. Okay. So I can put name over here, and here I can put age over here. Okay, so this is very important. So you can see how this looks. Let me run this and show it to you. So if I run this, can you see I'm getting hello Shibu, I'm 34 years old, right? Perfect. So now this is how this works. Now if I remove this F, just look at this, what happens. Okay, so if I run this, can you see without that F, this looks the same. Okay, so it is printing directly whatever you're typing. Okay, but as soon as you put F over here, you can see the difference. Okay, so if I run this, it now, whenever it finds curly braces, it is going to uh, take the content inside it and replace it with the variable names. Okay, okay, so let's suppose I want to it's not only that you have variable names, you can also do expressions or operations inside this. Okay, so inside this curly braces, you can even do something like this. Okay, so directly operations also you can do, like if you have a and b and if you want to do a plus b, so that also you can do it inside this. Okay, so expressions are also allowed, right? It's not only variable names, you can do expressions also, right? So if I do this, if I run this, can you see I'm getting hello Shibu, I'm 33 years old. Okay, so till here everything is fine. Now let me show you the fourth method. Okay, so this is also very important. So let's do print. Okay, and now for this method to work, you are going to work with string functions. Okay, so till now I have not shown you what are string functions. Okay, so let me show you some of the string functions. So the first string function I am trying to show you is, let's suppose this is the string. Okay, so anywhere wherever you find double quotes, okay, or if it's a string, then what you can do is you can use the string functions. Okay, so let's suppose if you have this. Okay, so you can see this is inside a string. So after the string, what you can do is you can do dot. Okay, and after you do dot, you can see all these functions are there. Okay, so there is all these functions, right? So now let me show you some interesting functions that you can do. Let's say lower. Okay, so when you do something like this, so Shibu dot lower, so this will convert the entire word into lowercase. Let me show you. If I run this, can you see this is lower, this is lower, this is lower, right? Because name is, wherever name was used, it became lower. Okay, in the fourth case here, the name was not used, that's why this is not lower. Okay, so let me show you upper. Okay, so let me run this. So it gives you uppercase. Okay, okay, now you can also do a length. Okay, so there okay, so let's suppose you want to find the length of a string. Okay, so what you can do is you can do print. Okay, that is not that is not a string related function, but still I would like to show you. So let's suppose you want to find out how many characters are there inside the string. Okay, so you can simply do len, len of name. Okay, so when you do this len of name, so this will actually give you how many characters are there inside this. Okay, so let me show you. You can see I get 5. Okay, so 5, that means 5 characters are there inside this. Okay, so this function is very important, length of name. Okay, so let me just remove that. And now let me show you the fourth method. Okay, so fourth method of printing on the screen. Okay, so in the fourth method, like upper, like lower, this is also a string function. Okay, so that whenever it's a string function, you do it after the quotes end. Okay, so let me do dot. Okay, and after dot you can do format. Okay, so this is very important. So this is the function. Okay, so whatever is a string, dot format. Okay, and inside this format, how to use this format, now I will show you. Okay, so what you have to do is you just have to replace the variables with curly braces. Okay, and you have to give indexes. Okay, so let's put 0 over here, and here I'm going to replace with curly braces and I will put 1 over here. Okay, so 0 over here, 1 over here, And now I will come over here. And if you remember C programming, we used to use printf. And in printf, we used to give %d, and then, at the end, we used to separate the variables with comma. It is somewhat like this. Okay. So first, in the string, you replace the placeholders. So these are called as placeholders. So you are putting the placeholders, and then you come over here and you just specify what are the placeholders going to be. Okay, so first placeholder is going to be name. So this is how this works. Okay, so let me run this. You can see it gives me the exact same result. Okay, so you can see how these steps work. Okay, so here the name is replaced in this zeroth index, and age is replaced at this particular index. Okay, so this is how it works. So let's suppose you put both of them 0. Okay, so if you put both of them 0 and if you run, you can see at both places you are getting Shibu. Okay, so this is very important when you have the same string at multiple places that you want to replace. Okay, so you can just put curly braces 0, curly braces 0, and then maybe some other variables. So that will get replaced. That all will get replaced with the first index. Okay, so 0 means the first one. Okay, 1 means the second one. Okay, so let me show you one more thing before we I go ahead. Okay, so you can so there are the format method can be used in two ways. One is using the uh, numbered indexes. Okay, so you can give numbers to this, and you can give the indexes, and according to the numbers it will be replaced. Okay, or else the second method is to give named indexes. Okay, so let me show you how that works. So you can say you can give any name inside this. Let's say p1 and p2. Okay, so I have given two named in this thing. Or else you can say num and sorry, let's say person name. Okay, so I can say person name and person age. Okay, so person name, person age. So this person name doesn't look good, so I will just use an underscore to differentiate person name and person age. Okay, so you can give such kind of named parameters. Now the advantage I will tell you, but before that, let me show you how to put that, how to use it. Okay, so once you give named parameters, now what you have to do is you have to come over here and say person underscore name is equal to name. Okay, so you can see what I'm trying to do. So person name equal to name, and person age, let me just copy this from here. So person age equal to age. Okay, so you can see what I'm trying to do, right? So here I'm just replacing person, sorry, this index that was previously 0 and 1 with some realistic names. Okay, realistic variable names. So person name, person age, and here I'm just mapping them. So person name is equal to name and person age is equal to age. Okay, so now you will ask me, अरे सर पहले वाला तो ठीक था, इतना कॉम्प्लिकेट क्यों किया, राइट? मतलब ये सब इतना करने की जरूरत क्या है, राइट? So there are two reasons. One is you can see now this statement. Now let's suppose you have developed this, somebody else is trying to read it. Okay, somebody else is trying to read your code. Now which code will be easier to understand, this one or where you have written 0 and 1? Okay, so obviously this one is easier to understand. So you can see hello person name, so that means you are expecting a person's name over here. और अगर आपने जीरो डाला तो कैसा लगेगा, राइट? हेलो जीरो, अच्छा नहीं लगता ना. So that's why developers try to be very verbose, and so that other developers who are working on the same project, they can also understand. Second very important thing why this is important is, पिछले वाले में जब हम लोगों ने 0 और 1 डाला था, उसमें सीक्वेंस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट था, राइट? सो आप जो पहले डालोगे वो पहले आएगा, और जो दूसरा डालोगे वो दूसरा आएगा, राइट? बट हियर यू कैन चेंज द सीक्वेंस. आई कैन रिमूव दिस फ्रॉम हियर, I can put it at the end, okay, and still everything will work because you are now addressing the variables with its name and not its index. Okay, so it works flawlessly. Okay, so you can see, even though I have written person name second, it is coming at the perfect place. Okay, so this is very important. So I hope you have understood this much. There is one more thing you should know before we go ahead. So in these two methods, okay, in these two methods, so now I'm not talking about these methods. So these methods are simple, for simple printing, but for these two methods you can do much more things than what can be seen over here. Okay, so there are lot and lots more things that I want to show you. So let me show you some few wonderful methods that you can do with these two statements. Okay, so with these two statements you can do something which is, I like it the most. Okay, so let me show you. So there is something called as format specifiers that you can use with these things. Okay, so what are these format specifiers? I will just show you. So before that, let me just show you. Let's put, um, let's suppose we have an age in floating. Okay, it's not possible, but let's suppose we have an age in floating. Okay, so now if I run this, you can see I'm getting the age in floating point. Perfect. Okay, but I don't want the age to be such a huge number. I just want 1 or 2 decimal places after point. Okay, so how to restrict it? Okay, so how to restrict it? There is two ways of restricting it. One is you can restrict, you can change the variable itself. Okay, using some function. I don't want to discuss about that right now. But second option is, only while when you print, you are going to display only 2 digits. Okay, so only for printing you're going to display only last 2 digits. That means after point only 2 digits. Okay, so let me show you how to do that. Okay, so for that, you can simply go to the variable where the printing is happening, just before the closing curly braces. Okay, so just before this, put the put a colon. Okay, so put a colon. So that means whatever is the parameter that you are putting, so after the parameter put a colon. Okay, and then you can write any format specifier you want. Okay, so I will show you many of them, but let me show you. The current is, I want only 2 decimal places, right? So for that, what you can do is you can do point to f. Okay, so what this point to does, point to tells that, tells the print command only print 2 decimal places. Okay, so that is what point to says. Okay, and f says that whatever you're trying to print is a float value. Okay, so this is what this point to f means. Okay, so let me run this and show you what happens. Okay, so can you see the difference between the other 3 lines and this one? So you get only 2 decimal places after point. Okay, so I can do single decimal place also, 0.1f. So if I run this, you can see I get 34.3. Okay, so that is the use of this. Okay, now what, so is this the only thing that you can do? No, you can do lots of things. Let me show you what are those. Okay, so I will share this page with you, so you can see these are all the parameters that you can do. Okay, so what I showed you right now is this. Okay, so colon f is what I have shown you, right? So like that, there are lots of options over here. So let me show you few of them. Let me show you this comma one. Okay. So let me go back, and let's suppose this is, let's say, 10,000. Okay. So the age is 10,000, right? So now if I remove this, I don't want anything. Okay. So if I print it, you can see it is giving me 10,000, right? But if I do colon, comma, okay, if I do colon, comma, and if I run this, can you see the difference? So after the thousands, so before the thousand separator, so you are getting a comma. Okay, so that is very nice. So if you are making an app where you want to print rupees and receipts and etc., so there you can use this comma operators, sorry, comma, this format specifier, and you can get something like this. Okay, now similarly, let's look at something very interesting. So let's say age is 5. Okay, and I want to convert this into binary. Okay, so I hope you all know from DLDA how to convert base to another base. Okay, so this is right now decimal. I want to convert it into binary. So usually in C we used to write big programs to convert from decimal to binary, right? But here it is so simple. I will just show you. So you have to just put colon, and then to convert decimal to binary, you just do B. Okay. So when you do this, let me show you after running it. Can you see what has happened? So 5 is now converted into 101, and you know what is 101, right? So 101 is actually binary value of 5, right? So this is how Python makes your life much easier. So similarly, you can do hexadecimal also. So let's do X. So X means hexadecimal. So here let's take the value of 255. Okay, and everybody knows what is 255 in hexadecimal. It is FF, right? So let us see. So you can see I get FF, right? So you can try out some of the, you have octal also, colon O will give you octal, right? And you can try out different formats. Okay, one more thing I would like to show, very important. So let's suppose if I want to take up more space. Okay, so I want to set the width of the uh, variable that I'm printing. So I you can put something like this. Okay, an integer number you can put over here, and what it will do, you will understand once you run this. Okay, so let me run this. Can you see what has happened? It has given me 10 spaces, and on that 10 space 255 is written. Okay, so that is what this colon 10 does. Okay, now once you have colon 10 in your format specifier, now you can do something very amazing. Let me show you. So the first three commands, so can you see this? So you can do this if you have a width setup. Okay, so if you have a width, this is called the width. So if you have a width, then you can align the string towards the right or towards the left or towards the center. Okay, so let me show you. So by default it is right aligned. You can see the this is the width, and on that the string is coming on the right. Okay, but if you want to align it on the left, you can do this. Okay, so you just put this, that will bring it to the right. Okay, so let me run this, and you can see now 255 comes at the beginning and all the empty space is after it. Okay, if you do this, okay, that is by default right aligned. So if I run this, you get the same result, right? And if you do this, okay, if you do this, you will get center align. Can you see? So I'm getting center aligned. Okay, so these are some of the things that I wanted to show. So task 4 is very simple. So you have to write a program to read temperature in Fahrenheit and print in Celsius. Okay, so that is what you have to do. Okay, so I will be giving an input. Okay, and you have to take that input, convert it into Celsius and print something like this. Okay, exactly like this, in fact. Okay, and you can see after point or after decimal point, there is only one decimal point. Okay, so you can see the formula for converting. Okay, for converting your Fahrenheit to Celsius. Okay, so the formula is, so whatever for temperature you type over here. Okay, so that is 40 minus 32. So you have to first subtract by 32 and then multiply by 5 by 9. Okay, so this is what the formula is, and as soon as you do that, you will get the Celsius. Okay, so let's see. Let's move on to the last topic of this particular module, that is module 1.1. Okay, so this module has three subparts. The first chapter has three subparts, so we will finish the first subpart today. So we have seen arithmetic operators, right? So let me show you. So I hope this much is clear. ये हमने लास्ट टाइम किया था. अब करते हैं आगे. Okay, so let's look at. Okay, so let's look at assignment operator. Okay, so whenever I want to put something, I want to assign something. Let's say, for example, I have seen one assignment operator, that is a equal to 10. Okay, so इधर ये equal to sign जो होता है ना, that is called as an assignment operator. Okay, so that is very important. So ये हम लोगों ने starting से use किया है. इसको बोलते क्या है, असाइनमेंट ऑपरेटर. नाउ ये अकेला नहीं है ये ऑपरेटर, और भी ऐसे टाइप के ऑपरेटर्स है. लेट मी शो यू. सो लेट सपोज आई वांट टू इंक्रीमेंट द वैल्यू ऑफ ए बाय 1. कैन यू टेल मी व्हाट इज द, व्हाट शुड बी द लॉजिक. इधर ए का वैल्यू कितना है, 10. मुझे ए का वैल्यू 1 से बढ़ाना है. सो आई वुड से ए इज इक्वल टू ए प्लस 1. राइट, सो ये तो बेसिकली हम लोग यही करते हैं ना. तो जो भी करंटली वैल्यू है ए का, उसके साथ 1 ऐड करो एंड उसको ए में स्टोर कर दो. सो दैट इज हाउ यू इंक्रीमेंट ए, राइट. सो नाउ देयर इज अ शॉर्टकट टू दिस. ओके, सो द शॉर्टकट इज ए प्लस इक्वल टू 1. ओके, so this is the shortcut of this. Okay, so this simply means that you are doing this. Okay, अगर आप इसको expand करोगे तो आपको ये मिलेगा, right? तो ऐसे वाले बहुत सारे और ऑपरेटर्स है. सो for every symbol there is this operator. So let me show you. So there is multiplication, sorry, there is minus, there is multiplication, there is division, there is modulus. तो कोई भी चीज उठा लो, ठीक है. इनफैक्ट रेस टू भी कर सकते हो, बट दैट इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी लॉजिकल. सो ये सब आप कर सकते हो इसमें, राइट. तो ये सब का मतलब वही होता है, ठीक है. लेट्स सपोज आई वांट टू एक्सपैंड दिस, सो दिस विल बी व्हाट, a इज इक्वल टू a mod 1. इसका मतलब ये होता है, राइट. सो दैट वाज ऑल द असाइनमेंट ऑपरेटर्स दैट आर देयर. ऐसे मतलब कोई भी आप ऑपरेटर ले लो, उसके साथ आप ये कर सकते हो, ठीक है. इट्स नॉट ओनली दिस, यू कैन टेक एनी ऑपरेटर and you can do this. Okay, then some other operators, like if you want to check whether something is greater or less. Okay, so if you want to check uh, relational operators or relational operators hote hai. So let's say if a, so let's print a greater than b. Okay, so let me first comment everything out, और ये भी कमेंट कर देता हूं मैं. ठीक है. सो अभी मुझे a ग्रेटर देन b चेक करना है. तो इफ आई रन दिस यू कैन सी आई गेट ट्रू. Why? Because a का value 10 है. If you see, a is 10, b is 3, right? So a 10 greater than b. So that is true. That's why I'm getting true, right? वैसे ही मेरे पास less than operator है, right? So is a less than b? No, right? So it is giving you false. वैसे ही less than equal to है, greater than equal to है, right? And if you want to check if both of them are exactly equal, then you can do equal to, right? If you want to check both of them are equal, then you have to do equal to. ठीक है. तो ये डिफरेंस याद रखना. ठीक है. सिंगल इक्वल टू और डबल इक्वल टू में डिफरेंस. ओके. सिंगल इक्वल टू मतलब यू आर असाइनिंग सम वैल्यू. डबल इक्वल टू मतलब यू आर चेकिंग इफ बोथ ऑफ देम आर इक्वल और नॉट. ओके. सो ये हो गया अपना रिलेशनल. Okay, now let us look at logical operators. Okay, so logical operators में so if you have two numbers, let's say a and b, और आपको अगर and or वगैरह करना है, तो there is a bitwise and a logical and. Okay, so bitwise operators अलग होते हैं. ठीक है. Bitwise operator मतलब you are talking in terms of the binary terms. Okay, so bitwise वो and और करेगा ऐसा. ठीक है. तो उसके लिए है and. Okay, so if you want to and a and b, if you want to add the bits of a and b, then you use bitwise and operator. So this and symbol, ampersand sign, is bitwise and. Okay, so similarly you have bitwise or, and you have not. Okay, so this is for not. Okay, so this is for not, मतलब उल्टा करेगा वो. ठीक है. मतलब जो भी बिट्स है ए का, उसको फ्लिप कर देगा, राइट. So these are all bitwise logical operators. Okay, so let me show you one example. मैं and करता हूँ, right? So इसको मैं print करके देखता हूँ क्या आता है. So I get 2. Okay, so अगर मैंने 10 और 3 को and किया तो मुझे क्या आता है, आउटपुट 2 आता है. So all those who everybody knows DLDA subject, right? So there you have converted one base to another, right? So if you want to check if it really this is the output, you convert A into binary, B into binary, then do an AND operation and find out whether you can get 2 or not. You will obviously get 2. Okay. Similarly, you can do OR. तो और करोगे तो और ऑपरेशन होगा. You know what is and or, right? So and means if both the inputs are true, you will get output true. Okay, and or means if any of one of the input is true, you will get the output true. So that is what or is. Okay, so ये आपने और किया. So ये जो symbol है, this is called bitwise and bitwise or. Okay, so this is very important. So if I run this, you get 11. Okay, so अगर आप कन्वर्ट करके देखोगे बाइनरी में, तो आपको 10 और 3 का आपको और 11 मिलेगा. ठीक है. You can also do not directly. So if you use this, then whatever you get उसका उल्टा bits मिल सकता है. So you can see you get -12. मतलब first bit is always the sign bit. So जब आप उल्टा करोगे तो वो नेगेटिव हो जाता है, right? So this is all about bitwise logical operators. And now this is not that important, bitwise logical operators, but what is important is logical operators. Okay, so अभी हम लोग actual logical operators पे जाएंगे. So logical operators are and, or and not. Okay, and अभी आप बोलोगे मैंने अभी तो वही तो बताया, right? वैसा नहीं है. So that was bitwise. अभी जो मैंने बताया ये वाला and, or, not, ये है bitwise, right? बट जो नया मैं बताने वाला हूं वो है and, or and not. Okay, in words. Okay, so this is लॉजिकल ऑपरेटर्स. ओके, सो ये लॉजिकल ऑपरेटर्स और बिटवाइस में इतना ही डिफरेंस है. काम दोनों सेम करते हैं, बट डिफरेंस है कि इट इज वर्किंग इन इन टर्म्स ऑफ लॉजिक, वंस एंड जीरोस, ओके। एंड वो जो दूसरा वाला था इससे पहले जो मैंने दिखाया, वो इट इज वर्किंग ऑन बाइनरी, ओके। सो मतलब उसको बाइनरी में कन्वर्ट करेगा, फिर वो एंड और जो करना करेगा, ठीक है। सो लेट मी शो यू व्हाट इज द यूज ऑफ दिस. So let me take another variable c, which is 15. Okay, so I have three variables. So let's suppose I want to find out if b is greater than a and b. दोनों चेक करना है, मतलब b is greater than a and also greater than c. मुझे ये चेक करना है, तो क्या करूंगा लॉजिक, b greater than a, b greater than c, राइट. तो यहाँ पे बीच में क्या आना चाहिए, I want to check b is greater than a and b is greater than c. So यहाँ पे ये यूज है लॉजिकल ऑपरेटर्स का, राइट. यस, सो ये यूज है लॉजिकल ऑपरेटर्स का. तो यहाँ पे अगर मैं एंड डालता हूं तो इसका मतलब ये है, दिस टर्म विल गिव मी आउटपुट ट्रू ओनली इफ बोथ ऑफ देम आर ट्रू. ओके, तो ये भी ट्रू होना चाहिए और ये भी ट्रू होना चाहिए. ओके, सो ऐसे चीजों का एप्लीकेशन आपको समझ में आ गया रहेगा अभी तक क्या है. इफ यू वांट टू चेक ग्रेटेस्ट नंबर और इफ यू वांट टू चेक इफ ही इज द स्मॉलेस्ट वन, ये सब चेक करना है तो आप ये वाला एंड ऑपरेशंस यूज कर सकते हो. ठीक है, ऐसे ही और ऑपरेशन कर सकते हो. ठीक है, तो और में क्या होगा, अगर ए बी ग्रेटर देन ए है या तो बी ग्रेटर देन सी है, दोनों में से कोई भी एक कंडीशन ट्रू रहेगा तो आपको ये ट्रू देगा. ओके, सो लेट अस सी व्हाट इज द आउटपुट ऑफ दिस. सो यू कैन सी इट इज फॉल्स, मतलब दोनों भी ट्रू नहीं है. व्हाई? बिकॉज बी इज 3, राइट. दोनों से भी ग्रेटर नहीं है, दैट मीन्स ये दोनों फॉल्स आया. सो दोनों फॉल्स आता है तो और आपको फॉल्स देगा. ठीक है, इफ इवन इफ वन इज ट्रू, let's say for example b is less than c कर दिया मैंने यहाँ पे, right. So this one is going to be true and this one is going to be false. So if I run, I should get true, right. So this is how this logical operators work. Okay, now I have seen and I have seen or. Now what if मुझे जो भी इसका आउटपुट आता है उसका उल्टा करना है. ठीक है, मतलब अगर इसका आउटपुट ट्रू आया, ये पूरे एक्सप्रेशन का आउटपुट ट्रू आया, तो मुझे उसका उल्टा करना है, राइट. तो क्या करूंगा, पहले तो मैं इसको ब्रैकेट डालूंगा ताकि कंबाइन कर दूं दोनों को. ठीक है, सो मैंने ये चीज को कंबाइन कर दिया, राइट. लेट मी ऐड अ स्पेस सो दैट इट इज क्लियरली विजिबल. तो ये पूरे चीज को मैंने एक कर दिया. इसका जो भी आउटपुट आएगा उसके आगे मैं क्या करूंगा, नॉट. सो व्हाट दिस नॉट डज इज, नॉट के बाद जो भी आता है उसका जो भी रिजल्ट है उसका उल्टा कर देगा वो. ठीक है, सो पहले क्या आया था, ट्रू. अब देखते क्या आता है. सो यू कैन सी आई एम गेटिंग फॉल्स, राइट. सो उसने इस रिजल्ट का उल्टा कर दिया. ठीक है, एनी डाउट स्टिल हियर? व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन स्लैश एंड ओके? Okay, so you have a doubt with this and this. Okay, so let's do 10 divided by 3. Okay, so what do you get by when you do this? So 3 3s are 9 and what is your remainder? This. Okay, so this is called the quotient and this is called the remainder. Okay, so if you want to get this, you use a mod b, right. So this is what you do if you want to get this. But if you want to get this, you do a double slash b. ठीक है, और अगर आपको ये दोनों भी नहीं चाहिए और डायरेक्ट आपको परफेक्ट डिवीजन चाहिए, मतलब क्या रहेगा, 3.3333 समथिंग समथिंग समथिंग, राइट. अगर आपको ये रिजल्ट चाहिए, मतलब ऐसा कोशेंट रिमाइंडर वगैरह नहीं चाहिए, सो व्हाट यू डू इज ए डिवाइड बाय बी. ओके, सो ए डिवाइड बाय बी करोगे तो आपको ऐसा रिजल्ट दिखेगा. ठीक है, अगर आपने ए डबल स्लैश बी किया तो आपको सिर्फ क्वेश्चन मिलेगा, ए परसेंटेज बी किया तो आपको सिर्फ रिमाइंडर मिलेगा. ओके, so the last one is very, let me remove everything and let's start fresh. So let's take an example that I have. um, so now what you want to do is you want to find out if x is present inside name. Okay, so is the character X present inside my name? Okay, so whenever you want to check something like this, Python has a very nice operator. It is called the in operator. Okay, so in operator. So let me show you. So print ch. So I'm just you can just call it as uh, check if ch is in name. Okay, ch in name. Okay, so when you write something like this, so this in operator is very important. So what it is doing is it is checking if ch is there in name. If it is there, it will return true. If it is not there, it will return false. Okay, so let us try it out. Can you see I'm getting not false? Okay, so let me say r. Okay, so r is present, right? So let us run it and you can see I get true. Okay, the thing is true for multiple characters also. So you can do Raj. Okay, and if you run, you should get true, right? Because Raj is present uh, in the characters. Okay, but if I do something like this, okay, so then it will give me false because it is case sensitive. Okay, so it matches the case also. It is not only the this thing. Okay, so any doubts in operator? Is it clear till here? Is the in operator clear? So it this is not necessary that it should be a word. Okay, it can be a sentence also. Okay, and it will still give you the correct result. Okay, so if I run this, you can see it gives me false, but if I do Raj, it gives me true. Okay, so this is very important. So very simple and easy to use in operator. Okay, so the task number 6 is very very simple. You have to take two inputs. The first input is a sentence, the second input is a word. Okay, so it can be any word, and then you have to write a program to check if this word is present in this sentence or not. If it is present, you have to print true. If it is not present, you have to print false. Okay, ekdam simple program hai. Okay, so let's say I want to print. Okay, and my name is Shibu and I am 33 years old. Okay, so this is the line, right? So can anybody tell me if I want these two lines to sentences to be on separate lines, what are my options? Okay, so how to put these two lines in separate, these two sentences in separate lines? Can anybody give me some options? Yeah, so first simple option is I can use \n. Okay, so that is one option. So if I run, you can see I get one over here, another below it. Okay, so that is one option. Second option is that I use two printfs, right? So this is second option. So the second option is to use two printfs, right? Now, there is a third option. Now, before I show you the third option, I want to make you understand why this third option is important. Okay. So in case you have a long sentence, okay, so let's say you have 10 lines or 20 lines, okay, so don't you think putting so many slash ns doesn't look good? Okay, also if you read this, this doesn't look nice when you read it, right? So the formatting of the code also gets a little weird, right? Because everything is on one line and you are not able to visualize कि actual में output कैसा दिखने वाला है. Okay, so slash n का यही problem रहता है कि अगर आपको इसका visualization करना है तो इसको run करके देखना ही पड़ेगा, right? तभी आपको समझ में आएगा कि ये perfect दिख रहा है कि नहीं. Whereas this one is good, you can visualize actually how the output is going to look because everything is on a new line. ये भी new line में है, ये भी new line में, but उसमें एक problem है कि हर बार आपको print लिखना पड़ता है, right? So every time, so just imagine you have 10 lines to type, so you have to write 10 times print, okay? So that is also a little bit of a problem, right? So that is where you get the third option, okay? So third option is very easy. You do print, okay, and then you do triple quotes, okay, so you put triple quotes, and now the advantage is, and close with triple quotes, okay, so you open with triple quotes and close with triple quotes. So now what happens is whatever you type over here, that will be shown to you as it is, okay? So I can put something like this, and I can put something like this, and I can add a space, put something here, come over here, put something here. So anything I want, I can put. Okay, so I just, that was just an example, but I can do something like this. Okay, and I can run it, and you can see I get the exact same result. Okay, so all the three are exactly same. So this is same, this is same, and this is same, right? So only thing is, when you have a very big paragraph, then this makes it a little more cleaner. Okay, so it looks a little cleaner when you read the code. Okay, codes. Okay, so this codes can be single or double, it doesn't matter. Okay, so you can use single. So if you're using three single quotes, then closing should also be three single quotes. Okay, so that is to be understood. Okay, now let's suppose I want this. So now the advantage is if you add quotes over here. Okay, so if you use triple quotes, the advantage is you can put quotes, you can put uh, single quote, it doesn't matter. You don't have to escape, you don't have to do anything. Okay, because nothing makes any problem. Okay, so it is perfectly all right to use quotes, double quotes, single quotes inside your string. वही चीज मैं यहाँ पे नहीं कर सकता था. ठीक है, यहाँ पे अगर मैंने इसको डबल कोट में डाला तो वो एरर देगा, right? You can see it is creating, it is coming in different color, that means there is something wrong, right? So in this case what you can do is you can just escape it. Okay, so whenever you have outside you have double quotes and inside also you want double quotes, you can simply escape it. Okay, indentation is very important that I've not covered right now because right now it is not required, but एकदम सबसे ज्यादा important topic है वो. Let me show you why. Okay, so let me remove everything. And normally in C programming and in uh, Java or any other language, if you do something like this, it should not create any problem. Okay, so let me show you. So let's do print and hello. Okay, so let me do something like this. So I have added a space over here, and if I try to run it, let us see. So can you see indentation error? Okay, so you get this type of an error. Why? Because Python language, you know, if you remember in C programming, I think I have not taught you C programming, but when I teach my students C programming, I constantly stress on beautification of the code. Okay, So you should write your code very perfectly. And one of the methods of properly writing your code is indentation. What do you mean by indentation? Let me show you. So if I write if, so I'm talking about C program right now. Okay, no, it's not Python right now, about C program. So if I write if, and if I do something like this, can you see the next code that I write? So let's say print. Okay, so I write with a little gap over here. Okay, so this thing is called as indentation. Okay, so whenever you write any block code or block level code, you indent your code a little. Okay, so let's suppose you have a for loop now. So you would add a for loop, right? And after that, you add indentation. And inside that, when you write a code, you have now twice as much indentation, right? So this shows you that it is inside. Okay, now normally in C programming, what students do is they forget about indentation. वो लोग ऐसा कर देते, ठीक है, ऐसा कोड लिख देते, तो ये बहुत गंदा लगता है, राइट? सो दिस इज व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम विथ सी प्रोग्रामिंग, राइट? बिकॉज सी प्रोग्रामिंग आपको अलाउ करेगा ये सब करने के लिए, राइट? मतलब आप कैसे भी लिखो, आप इसको अगर ऐसा भी लिख दोगे तो भी चलेगा, राइट? मतलब कोई फॉर्मेटिंग नहीं, कुछ नहीं, आप जैसा लिखोगे वो वैसा एग्जीक्यूट करेगा. दैट इज द problem with C program. But Python is strictly typed. That means what? You cannot mess with Python. So Python में अगर आपने ये extra एक space भी डाला है तो वो error देता है, right? So you can see I have added one space over here and it is not allowing me. So it is saying indentation error, right? तो अगर मैंने ये हटा दिया, अब वो चलेगा, ठीक है? So that is the use of indentation. I did not cover it right now because it is much more relevant when we start with the next module, sub module, that is if condition, ठीक है? So I will show you one more website, where if you want to practice more, okay, you can use that. Actually there are lots of websites. You can see the complete list over here, but I will show you. Okay, so hackerrank.com, and there are such many websites. We will look at them one by one later, but first let us look at this. Okay, so these websites are very important. Let me show you why. First, you have to log in with your account. Okay, so once you log in, you can see what all things this provides. Okay, so there is a practice section, there is a certification section, and best part is you can also create your own profile. Okay, so let me show you my profile. So this is my profile, and you can see you get badges for the tasks that you complete. Okay, so I have problem solving 1 star, Python 4 star, and JavaScript. I have completed the entire course, so I'm getting a golden star. C language, right? So like this, you can complete different tasks, and you get different badges, and at the same time you can complete certification also. Now I will show you one practice question before we go ahead. Now the best part is you can create your online profile. Okay, this is basically not a Facebook profile or any other type of profile. This is a coder's profile. Okay, so a developer's profile. So this is slightly different than your Facebook or Twitter or something like that. Okay, so this is more related to a developer skill based profile. Okay, so here when you create such a profile, you are showing others that I have so much skills in me. Okay, so if you complete these tasks and if you get these stars, the company and companies who are trying to find your resume, so you can show them that yes, I know these topics very well. Okay, so the more stars you get, the more better you are. Okay, at the same time, these are all badges that you get from practice. Okay, so you can go to practice. Let me show you one example. So right now we are doing Python, right? So so you can see the languages that are there. So there are many languages, and in fact there is also learn to code in 30 days, then interview preparation kit. So all these are there, but let's go to Python. So that is what we are trying to do, right? So let me show you some of my solved puzzles. So you can see the first one, right? So the first one is, this is just to show you how it works. Okay, so click on this. I have already solved it, so that's why it is saying solved. So it is just saying that it is same like Moodle that we have done, right? So it is telling you to print hello world. Okay, and there is no input and you have to output hello world, right? That is what it is required, right? So let's try it. So first of all, you have to change the Python version. So I will go to Python version 3. Okay, so you have to write the code over here, print hello world. Okay, so once I do this, then come down and you can run the code. Okay, so when you run the code, it actually checks for the test cases. Okay, so if the test cases pass, then it will say correct. Okay, for right now it is wrong. Okay, so here you can see this is the your output and this is the output that is expected, right? So let me change my output. Okay, and run the code again. Congratulations, you have passed the test case, and click on submit. Okay, so that is how you complete that particular task. Okay, so like this you have to complete all the tasks one by one. Okay, so you can see there are tasks like mathematical operators, arithmetic operators. Okay, so you can see what this particular task is. Okay, so it is giving you two inputs, 3 and 2, and you are expected to do these three operations. What is 3 plus 2, what is 3 minus 2, and 3 into 2. Okay, so you can see how to do this. Okay, so try it out. Try some of these programs. So whichever is possible, whichever you think, see, you print function, so you can do this also, right? So find out whichever things you can do. Okay, now initially it will be very easy, but as soon as you go deep inside, you the problems get difficult, tougher and tougher. Okay, so you can see I have solved many programs, but I didn't get time to complete all of them. Now, once you complete everything, then you have an option to go for certification. Okay. So you can go to certification and you can see what all certifications are there. This is free, absolutely free of cost. Only thing you have to do is invest at least 2 hours of time, because this test will take at least 2 hours to complete. Okay, and it is a continuous test. It is not like एक प्रोग्राम किया और फिर कल करेंगे बाकी, ऐसा नहीं है. कंटिन्यूस 1 घंटा बैठ के टेस्ट देना रहता है, राइट? So that is how this works. Okay, so once you are good at any one of these languages, you can make your uh, Python, or sorry, let's say can give your test and you can get certified. Okay, once you are certified, you can go to your profile and you will see at the top verified certificates. Okay, so that will show your employer, who to whomever you are trying to appear for the interview, that you have a certificate on this particular language. Okay, so that is how this thing works. Another thing that you can do is you can see this is my profile. So what I would suggest is everybody should create an account. Okay, and let me show you. Let me open this in incognito. Okay, everybody after creating an account can, so you can see when you log in, you will see something like this on my profile. Okay, so what you can do is you can take your friend, everybody in your friend. Basically it's about how big your network is. Okay, so when you have a bigger network, that means you have your employers, when they see your profile, they see that okay, you're connected with many developers. Okay, so that is how you get your popularity, right? So what you can do is you can uh, take your friends along with you. You share your this hacker rank URL with amongst everyone, and try to follow everyone. Okay, so try to create your network as big as possible, and so that it gets gives you better opportunities. Okay, and finally, there is option for competitions also. So competitions comes in over here. So all these competitions you can see, but these challenges are very difficult. That is what I have seen. And finally, obviously, jobs are there, right? So you can check the place. So there is entries from Bangalore also, right? So these are you can see there are lots of listings.